today was a virtual teacher work day, which I only had to do like one thing because I'm not a teacher. But starting your day with a Zoom meeting is just jarring in my opinion. Not even Zoom. Teams of all things. I cannot find my background. Ruh-roh. Is anyone here yet? We're here on a Monday. Club going up on a Monday. Oh my god, I hate this mouse. Like, you're done. I tried to give you a chance and you're done. You're done. Back to the trackpad we go. There's what I want. Base, no banners. Hello, Lemur Banana. How are you? How are you live, laughing, and loving this fine evening? Weird to be here on a Monday. A little weird to be here on a Monday. There we go. Kerchow. We are getting there. We are getting places. Look at us. Boom. I need that to be not that size. Okay. Ooh, no, I don't like the edges of that. That looks not quite right, but closer to it. Oh. Is this the wrong size? What's happening here? Something's off. Yeah, that's the wrong size. I was like, why isn't the thing lining up the way that it's supposed to? New background. Yeah, I'm being very, very brave tonight. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, we're running a little bit late tonight, so bear with me now. Bear with me. I feel like the presenters and PDs right now, where they're like, oh, this technology, like that's actually dead ass me right now. It's kind of not funny, but whatever. So other additions, can't believe I didn't start with this. Background upgraded. The light is like getting cut off. I need to adjust the placement of the light. I think I figured it out. I think it needs to literally be mounted on the ceiling. So that's just simply what needs to happen now, which is fine. But the misredacted sign, none of this stuff is that new. You guys have seen it. The misredacted sign I've had for a while. It's from the Suburban Farmhouse. They're both teachers and they run like a Etsy store, and they made that custom for me, which was super cool of them. And it was fun to be able to like pick the colors with them and stuff like that. And then the on the air sign was my grandfather's. There's some lore there. When I say there's lore, what I actually meant is we have no idea, because he would always say like, oh, my radio show, but like no one's been ever able to confirm the existence of this radio show. So we think it might have just been him talking on the phone, which is fine. And that was his on the air sign. So yeah, so sorry that I don't have my shit together. Give me a few more seconds and then we will be rocking and rolling. But we always kind of like to chat here anyway. I know some districts do a fall break right now. Do y'all have that? I like how Creed in the office had a blog. Hell yeah, another Monday stream. I work on Tuesday night, so I'm never able to join live. My job is closing. Oh God, I'm sorry. So I'll be here more often in the very near future. I'm sorry to hear that your job is closing, or maybe congratulations. Unsure. Let me make a little, finish up this graphic moment. Dinner. Not Gabby Hanna. We're done with her. Let me get a picture of Courtney Stodden doing her thing, and then we'll be good to go. This topic took me on like so many twists and turns, and I truly have so many emotions and so many feelings, and most of them are negative towards Doug. So let me get a picture of her in 2025, because next week is the part 2. Okay, she looks really gorgeous there. Let's go with that one. Perfect. Thanks for making that easy, Courtney. It helps when you're literally one of the most beautiful people I've seen in my entire life. All right. Wham. Bam. Download. Not all 25 pages. That's definitely not what I want. I hate when I can't engage with the chat with y'all because I'm like focused. It's really rude. Media categories, is that? What the fuck? Yeah, image. That's what I want. A new source. All right, that's huge. Oh, fuck, I put the date on there wrong. Damn it. Okay, I'm moments away from giving up on this. I hate when that happens. Did I X out of it? Why would I do that? What's next week? The 21st. And it's October. I'm trying to come up with a good Halloween costume, and I just can't. The best idea I have so far is Mickey and Minnie, and I don't love that. I kind of want to be Nutella and almond butter because we both like those things. I like Nutella, he likes almond butter. Do you have to do a couple's costume? No, but I like to. That's not what I wanted. I like to do a couple's costume, and we're going to a party with a bunch of friends who are like married and in long-term relationships, and a lot of them do couple's costumes, so it's just like kind of the vibes. And then I also kind of want to do something like boring, if that makes sense. Like something super traditional, just like witches or something like that. Okay. There we go. I'm going to be a cicada or a hot Cheeto. Like, that's perfect. Like, I want something like that. Sorry, my screen just made itself, like, huge. That was, like, genuinely very scary. Oh my God, what is happening to technology tonight? Like, can I live? Can I live? Can I have just a moment to live? Perhaps. Where am I? I know nothing about her. I'm excited to lock in. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. If you know a ton about Courtney Stodden or you know nothing about Courtney Stodden, either way, this is going to be a very, like, interesting stream. That's the best way I can describe her, is she's very interesting. Like, a lot of things were really not chill. Like, a lot was bad. A lot was not good and was, like, really not chill. And then, like, society's reaction to her and her as a person, like, just the whole thing. There's so much to talk about, and this is so interesting, which is why this is ending up being a 2-part stream, because I was putting it together and I just kept finding more information. And, like, there's a lot of clips in this one, and the clips, like, some of them are not crazy long, but like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Like, they take up a fair amount of time, but all of them felt critically important to me. So once it was getting to like 100 slides, which with a ton of those being very text heavy or having like a 7 or 8 minute video, I was like, Courtney simply needs to have 2 parts. Like, this just simply needs to be 2 parts. Courtney, if you are watching this, I really, really admire you a lot. I'm obviously talking about your life, so it's not going to be exactly your perspective. Oh, my computer has headphones plugged in. That's a problem. So it's not going to be exactly your perspective. But I try and really do it as much from your perspective as I possibly could, and in the way that's the most respectful that I possibly could. So let's go ahead and get into it. Quick note on Courtney's pronouns. A couple people in my TikTok told me about this where I hadn't even researched far enough to get to this point in her life. So thank you to the people who said that, but not to say I didn't need you. I think I would have gotten there with how detailed this ended up being. But in 2021, Courtney came out as non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. But then in 2022, I found an article where Courtney was interviewed and they were using she and they. And then in more recent interviews, I've seen them use she and they for Courtney, but Courtney is non-binary. So that being said, a lot of the articles we're going to read are before 2021. And then, like I said, in some of the most recent stuff, I've also seen them using she, they, but also affirming that she's non-binary. So you're going to see like a mix of pronouns in this. And I call out, like, we're reading an article. It was published in 2016. So, like, you guys are smart enough to follow along and figure it out. Like, that's one thing I do hold a lot of faith in, is that you guys are not fucking idiots. So be respectful, don't be an asshole. And that's why you'll see a mix of pronouns used in this, because she has used different ones at different points in time. So we are going to talk in depth about this and what she has said, or what they have said about their relationship with gender. So it will be talked about when we get to 2021 and 2022, but I wanted to call it out at the beginning just because people on TikTok were talking about it, and I think it's something that would be easy to think is confusing, especially because in some of the sentences, they being grammatically there. Like, I made it very clear, but that's why it's like kind of obvious at points in times that I'm being like the pronouns. So I wanted to tell you why that is and where it came from and all that stuff. But like I said, you guys are smart. You can follow along. So Courtney Alexis Stodden was born in 1994 in Tacoma, Washington, to Krista K. Keller. KKK being your initials is crazy as hell. I didn't even realize that till right now. Wow. Okay. Ugh. And Alex John Stodden. They have two sisters, Ashley and Brittany, who are 9 and 11 years older than Stodden. That being said, like, even though Stodden is not an only child, Courtney, I think, spent a lot of time kind of living as an only child. Stodden describes their childhood as beautiful and fun, stating that they were extremely spoiled in a good way. From a young age, Stodden has stated their passion for singing and writing their own music. Jesus. Oh, I forgot my water. Oh my God. Let me text Mr. Redacted. He might already have his phone on silent. He's not known for being, Can you bring me my water? (9/11) is like my 6/7. Please. 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 All right. So anyway, they were raised in Ocean Shores, Washington. So this is a picture of Courtney as a child. Here's some more pictures of them. Looks like they went to Disney. They did say that their family would vacation in California a lot when they were a kid, which makes sense if you were living in Washington State. The drive to California is like not that crazy. It's not across the entire country, depending on where you're going and how far you are. I'm 21 and only just learned what 6/7 means. It kind of came from nothing. That's the thing. Like, it kind of means nothing. So lots of pictures of Courtney as a kid. Like they said, happy childhood, like very spoiled, loved music, all that. Lots of pictures at Disney, which tracks. Like, obviously when you're at Disney, it's $1 million fucking dollars, so you're going to take a bunch of pictures. So I found this in an interview about them. When did you start performing? Were you born a performer? To be exact, I actually started to perform in my mom's belly. My parents would watch Cops on TV every evening while my mom was pregnant with me. When the theme song would play, my parents told me that I would kick and move around like crazy. So when I was a few weeks old, I was lying in my crib when Bad Boys started to play. My parents told me that I started to dance and wiggle around like a little performer, recognizing the song. I still love that tune to this day. So from obviously like very, very early in life, loves music, loves performance. More pictures from childhood. Welcome to California. Like they said, they went to California very frequently in their childhood with their family. Student council certificate, ASB, whatever the hell that is, vice president in 2006. This is a class photo. The pose. The pose and the face is what's getting me. Like, this screams unregulated access to the internet and television. Like, think about what was going on in television at this time. If she was born in 94 and they were 11 at this time, what would that be, like 2005? So think about what television and media was like in 2005. So yeah, like I was doing bullshit like this as well. So zero judgment on that. Writing award in 2005. And Courtney said that when she was in school, she really, really, really struggled with bullies. In 2017, Stodden said to Radar Online that they were bullied and abused over their mature looks from age 12 when they were in 6th grade until their mother pulled them out of school at 16. So Courtney, and they show this in the movie that recently came out. I watched the movie as research. It was very, very good. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But anyway, that like was getting made fun of for their body looking a certain way, their hair, this, that, and the third, as many children are. And so their mom pulled them out of school and enrolled them in online private Christian school. So I think that there's a lot of options out there when your child is being bullied. I don't know if online private Christian academy would be my first instinct. But yeah. My water's on the way. Give me a second. Oh wait, I don't know where it is actually. This is live, people. This is live right here. That's how you know. Love the background, right? It's really just so much more the vibes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. He's very shy. Thanks for being quiet. Back then, schools didn't do a whole lot about bullying. Do they now? Very mixed results on that. Me with rose-colored glasses. I loved the 2000s, me taking the glasses off. So, yeah, not a great situation. Apparently, they fractured their arm due to a bullying situation. It's a lot. So, here's some pictures of Courtney kind of during this middle school, early high school time. We are very quiet always. Y'all have a perfect class, I have to say. So, beautiful hair color, must say. Might be getting that. This picture, to me, is like nothing wrong at all. Like clearly this is a young teenage girl outside of someone's house, like holding themselves up on the column, basically. The media had a fucking field day with this photo. So I feel like Courtney does look a little bit older than they are. I think in this photo they're 11 or 12, but I think that's mainly just because they're pretty tall and like very strikingly beautiful. I think because I spend a lot of time around kids, I know that this is like a tall, early developed 12, maybe 13-year-old max. But apparently Courtney said everyone always thought like that they were way older than they were, that when they were like this age, 11, 12, 13, they were showing, like everyone was assuming they were like 16, 17. That's how they like appeared and showed up in the world. It's a show of strength, honestly. Yeah, to me, this is like not a sexual photo at all. But I'm sure you can imagine what people said about it when it later came out. Another picture of Courtney in like middle high school age. Very, 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 they're not even developed, just tall. Yeah, but that's what, when I say developed, I more mean like her, like the facial features and like the muscularness. Not so much like womanly. Because very much Courtney looks like a 12-year-old. Yeah, that's how I get this. 12, maybe 13. So 2009 to 14, I put career in quotes because Courtney's like 15 at this time. So Stodden began in the entertainment industry as a youth by modeling as of 2011. So when Courtney was like 15, maybe 16, depending on when that was listed compared to her birthday. Her measurements were listed as 36, 23, 35. That might mean something to you. And 5'3". So pretty short, which becomes relevant when you start to see the shoes that Courtney is wearing as a teenager and as a young adult, constantly super, super high heels. And that goes back to modeling. In the movie, Courtney said that in the modeling world, like she realized being short was going to be such a disadvantage. So she would wear super high heels all the time. In 2009, Stodden hosted a cable access TV show called The Courtney Stodden Show. It ran for 5 episodes in North Beach Community TV. So it was like a local talk show in her town. And apparently, I think I put this in here later, in the movie I just watched where Courtney like talks about this time, Courtney, like the movie showed Courtney like doing her makeup, whatever, and then the producer is like, hey, the show's going off the air, and Courtney's mom is like, what the fuck? Everybody loves this show. People come up to Courtney on the street to talk to her about this show, and the producer is like, yeah, we get that, but we're looking, and it's like really only grown men watching the show. It's kind of a documentary, kind of not. They're like, it's kind of grown men watching the show and we're getting tons of hate mail from women, so we're going to take it off the air. It's like a documentary, but not really. It says it's like dramatized, but it cuts between like a movie. It's a Lifetime film. So it cuts between like a movie, like very much Courtney's being played by an actress. It doesn't look like her, like twins, but like they get the look right. You get what I'm saying? It's an actress portrayal. And Courtney, I believe, was one of the executive producers on it. We'll go over this in part 2, but if anyone wants to watch it. But the movie cuts back and forth between like the movie style with actors and then Courtney sitting in like a dark room being interviewed talking about it. So like Courtney will talk about it and then it'll flash to like the movie version. And then Courtney will talk about it and it'll flash to the movie version. So it's not technically a documentary because there is dramatizations, like they said, but because Courtney is talking about it like there and explaining it, to me it read more documentary. And then when I researched this, I found like little differences, but yeah. In 2009, Courtney competed in Miss Ocean Shores Teen USA and won Miss Ocean Shores, and then went to Miss Washington Teen USA pageant, but did not win the title there. So Courtney very much came up in the pageant world, in the modeling world, in the television world, and again was doing Christian online school. So she's not getting much exposure to other kids at this age at all. Really, it's just like working and with her mother primarily. This is Donald Trump's pageant. And I swear to God, I didn't even like look for that. Like I wasn't like, oh, how can I make a stream that ties back to Donald Trump? That was never my intention. I just was researching this and happened upon it. I don't believe that he was at this specific pageant, but it was Trump's Miss Teen USA, trigger warning the President of the United States. That's where we're at. So I know the dancing is horrible, but let's remember that they are victims. Let's remember that. The music is good. Like, I'm not gonna look at you and tell you the songs are bad songs. The dancing is jarring. I'll just let you. And I debated not including the dancing, but I feel the dancing is important because I think it goes to show how degrading this is. And I think it's relevant to how Courtney lived their life and what they have been through. I think this is a relevant piece. The music was good and the victims being there sums up the 2000s. The white Bermuda short, like, Courtney's somewhere in here. It's not funny. They're victims! They're victims! They're victims! They're victims! Okay, floor work.
Courtney Stodden is Ocean Shores Teen USA.
There's Courtney.
The first round of competition, the swimsuit round.
So, I want to take note that in the Miss Teen USA pageant owned by Donald Trump, there's a swimsuit portion. Okay, these are minors. Let's get a bunch of literal children and have them prance around on stage in bathing suits. This is Courtney. And then the guy that owned that business, let's make him the President of the United States. So, Courtney's 15 at this point. Like, this is not good for the 15-year-old mind. This cannot be good. This cannot be good for the 15-year-old mind. Is there normally a swimsuit portion in young pageants? 50-50, I feel. Not 100% sure. I'm not the expert. Oh, one other thing. Sorry, I had to get away from that video. Oh, those files are never getting out of it. Not with that attitude. We have to keep bringing it up. Courtney also started vlogging and doing MySpace at this time. So it doesn't seem like the Christian Online Academy was so hard-hitting that it was really interfering with her ability to be composing and recording her own songs, vlogging her life on YouTube, all of the things. And very much her mom was encouraging this, like influencer before influencer was real. So she started doing music. She was also big on MySpace. I tried to find evidence of this, but all of it has been private, which that's one thing that I found to be very glaring in the research of this, which has never happened to me before. You could tell that Courtney Stodden had gone through and gotten rid of things, because some stuff was super easy to find, there it was, and some stuff it was gone, removed, restricted, reported, and very much one or the other. Either it was out there or it was completely gone. So most of the MySpace stuff is completely gone, and I know that because I was finding links to it. I would find old articles that linked it, and then it would be this page has been made private, this page has been removed, things like that. So in 2010, Stodden released original songs Car Candy, Craze, and Don't Put It On Me, Hurting People, and We Are America. Star Observer ranked Don't Put It On Me as number 11 as their 11 best songs of 2011. And Stodden said, Don't Put It On Me was kind of a tongue-in-cheek song that I didn't take seriously at all, but it obviously had a good message to it. In the video, she repeats, Don't put it on me, girl, don't put it on me, girl, no, while she's sitting on a boat with a pink-haired dog. It's been viewed nearly 700,000 times on YouTube. You will see little bits and pieces of it in future news clips about her. We're going to listen to it right now, though, but her video of it has been taken down. That was another thing. Some old YouTube videos of hers still up. All the music videos taken down, private. So, I felt I was okay, clearly they have made a choice to decide what's out there and what's not out there, which honestly, as a internet researcher person, made my job very easy in terms of the ethics of do I include this, do I not include this, because it seems like they've decided what's out there. We didn't do swimwear, we did activewear instead, and it was really low-key city. It was mostly for confidence building and scholarship money. That's how they get you, is the confidence building and scholarship money, I've heard. The second music video, titled Car Candy, shows Stodden gyrating on top of a convertible, wearing a camouflage tank that says, Your fuel injection really turns me on. Oh no, she was saying that, not the tank top. So the music video has been removed. You'll see bits and pieces later. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. This is a still from the music video.
I go shopping.
It's very 2000s. It's kind of like the Real Housewives music, a don't be tardy. That's what it's giving for me, is don't be tardy.
You can't control your guy. I will not be responsible for your love of attraction. I will not be a victim of your aggressive reaction. Now turn around and be the best you can be. You'll be amazed how it'll set you free from your
It's camp.
jealousy. Don't put it on me, girl. Don't put it on me, girl. No, don't put it on me.
And the song is basically if your man is staring at me, that's a you problem.
Don't put it on me, girl. No.
That's brave of her to say, I think.
I want you to know.
Is this a Britney Spears? Courtney's not bad. Is it auto-tuned? Who isn't? You know? Sheena! Yes, it's that Bravo style of music. This actually aged really well. No, it did. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? I know, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I had to stream on a Monday this week. The auto-tune adds a character that can't be replicated. So some stuff from the movie about this time, but like I said, Courtney's literally in it and was one of the producers on it, so I can't imagine it's a blatant lie, maybe slight exaggeration. But Courtney said that pageants taught her very quickly that the older and sexier you looked, the better. So the super high heels to look taller. She said that she stuffed her bra from a very, very young age, and not oh, I shoved tissues in it, had the professional. They're called chicken cutlets, I think. They look like raw chicken. They kind of freak me out. I don't need them. God gave me enough of that to go around. But that's what tells me, like, someone bought that for you. Like, you were a 13, 14, 15-year-old child with, like, the nice chicken cutlets to put in your bra. Someone got you a bra to accommodate those, and someone bought those for you. Because you don't have a job. Not in, like, a derogatory way, but, like, they're a child. They don't have a job. This Courtney Stodden show was canceled despite high views. Apparently most of the views came from older men, and they got tons of complaints from women and, like, audiences of that nature. Apparently, Courtney's family was told to leave their church over the way that Courtney dressed. What happened in the movie, which I don't know if it's true, but like a church lady was like, your daughter needs to be dressing better. And Courtney's mom was like, this is Jesus. Jesus was with everyone. Like, leave us alone. And then this lady was like, there are men at this church that struggle with pornography addiction. You can either leave or you can tell your daughter. Like, it was on that kind of bullshit. Apparently Courtney's dad was very concerned about the images and footage of Courtney. Like, they showed a scene where there was a picture of Courtney in, like, a local advertisement, and Courtney's dad was like, oh my God, why is she wearing that? Because it was like a tank top and very short shorts when she was like 12 or 13 years old. And it seemed like her mom was the one kind of pushing it along. Also, apparently her dad was gone for work a lot. They didn't really get into specifically what his work was, but it seemed like her parents' marriage was like kind of strained, and it was just her and her mom in the house for the vast majority of the time. The church lady needed to hear, don't put it on me, girl. So, like, I think that probably might not have been that exact situation, but what read from the movie to me is like maybe specific situations were exaggerated or fabricated to communicate to the viewer the vibe of how Courtney was being treated by society. And Don't Put It On Me, like, very much is reflective. I think Don't Put It On Me came out when she was like 15. Of like what we've seen them talk about, of being bullied and being ostracized and all these things. So apparently there were a lot of weird, gross men who tried to help Courtney and like were very overt about it. Like would like touch her hand at a table or be like, oh, she can come stay with me, to her mom. Like very overt, very like radiating predator. So her mom was very strict and read all of her emails and was very hands-on and attended her meetings and things like that. There's a lot of child stars that end up being really vulnerable to exploitation because they're like at things alone. Like they don't have an adult there advocating for them on set every single day. It seems like Courtney's situation was not that. It seemed like Courtney's mom was like very much locked in there every day. Does that mean that she was advocating for Courtney? I'll let you be the judge of that. Courtney has said very recently that I forgive everyone. The hardest person for me to forgive is myself, but I forgive everyone involved. I think Courtney's so mature for that. Like I love that for her. Love that for her. Yes. So how did Courtney meet Doug? A lot of people said it was online, and it was only kind of online. So at age 16, Stodden signed up on the internet for an acting workshop that was taught by Doug because her maternal aunt, or a recommendation of a friend of the maternal aunt. So the mom's sister's friend. You're following? The mom's sister's friend lived in LA, worked in Hollywood, and was like, Doug Hutchinson has acting classes, you should sign up. So Courtney and her mother, I think presumably Courtney's mother, is the one like pushing her into this acting class. But it wasn't just like a rando acting class they found out of nowhere. It was like a friend of whatever. What's really frustrating is how much victim blaming there is with child stars like Courtney Stodden because of their looks when Drake Bell, who was never sexual, was assaulted. Yeah, the victim blaming with child stardom is fucking crazy. So, where was I? Hutchinson was not aware that Courtney was a minor, began a courtship with them over the internet that lasted between 4 to 6 months, where they said they fell in love before they ever met in person. And after Hutchinson became aware of Courtney's age, Doug told Courtney's mom, Krista, and Krista was like, yeah, I know you love my daughter. I read all of your emails. What the fuck? What the fuck? And in the movie, the email correspondence was not sexual, but it was like deep. Like it was like, oh, that like Doug was making Courtney feel super special and super important and like giving Courtney a space to talk about their emotions and things like that in a non-sexual way, but like that's what grooming is. Like it usually doesn't start as super overt. And what Courtney said about it was that it was like 20 questions. Like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What do you love about school? Like things like that. And so just like the normalization of emailing back and forth with a grown man, like that's normal. And so the conversation being normal is like a way to make it seem like the whole concept is normal when it's not. The questions that Doug was asking at first kind of seem like the questions that like if you and your dad's friend were in like the waiting room for like a meeting and your dad was in the meeting and you just had to like sit there with your dad's friend. Like they weren't weird questions, but it's weird for a man to be emailing a 15-year-old girl those questions. That's what's weird. You know what I'm saying? So 20 questions. The famously innocent and innocuous game only played in platonic situations. Yeah, it being 20 questions tells you everything you need to know. There's no reason for this man to be talking to her. And like, did they ever go to the acting class? That's what's unclear. Is it's like, oh, we signed up for this acting class, but then we started emailing online. When was the acting class? When was it? Because I'm not clear. It's not adding up for me. So Doug was like, I'll cease the relationship if your parents aren't okay with it. He very much came to them on like a I'm in love with your daughter type bullshit, which like a restraining order should have been created at that point. A restraining order should have been created at any email beyond here's the confirmation for your acting class. It's getting weird. Their parents cited Stodden's devout Christianity, which allowed them to make their own decision. So because Courtney was like a very devout Christian, her parents were like, if you love him, it's your life. What the fuck? Where's that in the Bible? Where is that in the Bible? And they were like, because we raised Courtney to be a good Christian girl, we trusted her to make this decision. Girl, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They're not Mormons, shockingly. Trust me, I checked. Men are feeling a little too safe. I'm sorry. So this is Doug, this motherfucker. We're not going to talk that much about him because, well, like, we talk about him a lot in reference to her. We're not going to talk about him as an independent person worthy of respect because he's not one. Doug Hutchinson was born in 1960, so he probably has like lead paint in his blood. He's an American actor known for his roles, often playing disturbed and antagonistic characters. Well, that would make sense because he is disturbed and antagonistic. Oh, yeah. He was nominated for an award for his role in The Green Mile. Apparently, like, that's his claim to fame is The Green Mile. I've never seen it. Don't care about it. He was in some other shit. The Chocolate War, Pete Willard, A Time to Kill, Looney Bin Jim, Warzone. He was in Lost, The X-Files as a guest. So yeah. So again, he was born in 1960. She was born in 1994. So at this point, he's in his 50s and she is 15, 16 years old. So that's where we are. This is what Courtney's mom should have done when she found the emails. Instead of being like, and what they show in the movie is her mom is like, I need to read all those emails. And Courtney's like, but there's so many. And the mom is like, well, print them out for me. And then the mom reads them all and is like, oh my God, they're in love. At email number 2, what the fuck? You're off the computer. I failed as a parent. How the fuck did this happen? He was in Green Mile and played a freak. CBS, where are you? It was the 2000s. What is this image? I don't know. I saw this on the internet years ago and saved it, and I was like, there'll be a time that I need this picture, and what do you know? I found the time that I needed this picture. This is instead what Courtney's mom did when she found the emails. They said, let's chat with Doug. Oh my God, this good Christian actor is in love with you. And Courtney was like, I love him too. And her mom was like, then I guess you should be together. What's wrong with this woman? So before what we get into what was said at the time, how this all went down, I want to talk about what Courtney has said from their adult view before we talk about what they said in their child view. Because in interviews, Courtney like strongly defended Doug for years. So before we get into that, I want to get into what Courtney has recently said about this. Courtney said that Doug was basically an expert groomer. He had done it before. We'll get into that too. He never said anything sexual, was always just asking appropriate questions to avoid red flags, was constantly telling Courtney that they are special, they are talented, called Courtney his star girl. Hey, star girl, how are you doing? Always said that they were going to be a star, that he wanted to help her. This is another thing, was always saying there's so many bad men in this industry. There's so many men that take advantage of star girls like you. I can keep you safe from all of that. So like simultaneously building trust, normalizing emotional intimacy with a very inappropriate person, and then also creating a culture of fear and him being the protector. Like it is so textbook grooming. This is part of why I wanted to talk about Courtney and talk about Courtney's story, is because I think like we as a society let this happen to this person on a national scale, and it's because Courtney doesn't fit what we think of as the perfect victim. There's no perfect victim. No matter what you do, something's wrong with you and you don't deserve to be a victim because you deserved it and it was your fault. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because like this is what this looks like. Like young girls being taken advantage of by grown men doesn't usually come from a man snatching someone out of a van on the street. That has happened, but it's very rare. It comes from long email exchanges telling you how special you are and telling you how important and beautiful you are, but never bringing up your dick, because then that would be a red flag. When the whole fucking red flag to begin with is you little creeper emailing a child. Ugh. And Doug was like, you are going to live in my big house with me. You'll never have to worry about anything. I'm going to take care of you, blah, blah, blah. Never really had any friends or dated either. So no experience outside of parents, no bar for what's normal in a relationship, no bar for like, oh, I was 12 and got my feelings hurt by a boy and then I learned that they're fucking liars. Like none of that going on. First relationship is with like an expert groomer who has all this power and all this clout that like, oh my God, it's literally just so textbook. So this is a recent interview that Courtney did about Doug. In 2011, Stodden, then 16, married the Green Mile star, then 51. So 51 and 16. The two met via email when Stodden reached out about an acting workshop that Hutchinson was hosting in LA. I hate how everyone uses last names. It's so confusing. The former couple emailed and spoke on the phone for months, as Hutchinson told ABC News. When he learned she was 16, his world turned upside down. It didn't make me want to walk away, but it was definitely a struggle inside my heart because I had already started falling for her. Jail, immediately. The television personality looked back on her controversial, Courtney, on their controversial personal life and career by writing on Instagram Friday, 10 years ago, I turned 16. Nothing could have prepared me for what was around the corner. I had a child's mind, a teenager's body, and I was a virgin. However, it appeared to everyone around me that I was a woman who was grown enough and able to make my own choices. According to many, I was mature enough to date men my father's age or older and eventually marry one. So this is an article that came out around the time that they got married. So again, that was Courtney's like adult view of this. Let's get into what happened when it happened. Courtney is 16 at this point. Even if she was 18, it's still inappropriate. That's what gets me, is Doug being like, I didn't know that Courtney was a minor. What'd you think? You didn't think she was 37. That seems like an appropriate younger woman for you. If you're 51, date all the 37-year-olds you want. I'm totally fine with that. That seems like a win-win. Great. Bye. Even if she was in her 20s. No, literally. It's like, it's weird. It's like, you did know that you were 50. Yeah, like, you knew your age the whole time. Gotcha. So this is an article that came out around the time that they got married. This is horrible. So many of the articles we're going to read over the next couple weeks are so bad. Stodden is not the typical sweet 16. This former beauty queen and aspiring actress, the way she's 16 and they're calling her a former beauty queen as if that shit wasn't 9 months ago, and pop singer has never been to high school or driven a car. She says that Doug is her first serious boyfriend. This was in the news. This was in the news. There should have been, like, a civilian army storming Doug's house. Like, I don't understand. Hutchinson is an actor best known for The Abusive Prison Guard, The Green Mile, blah, 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 blah. He is twice divorced and battling alcoholism when he met Stodden last year. The beacon of a male protector. Twice divorced and battling alcoholism. How'd you fail the first 2 wives? That's what I want to know. And I thought about including that, but I felt like that would humanize him. The way we met was really beautiful, Stodden said in an interview with Good Morning America. My mother was managing my career. Her friend told my mother that Hutchinson was holding some workshops for acting, and I was very interested in acting. So what better way than to connect that way? She sent me an email, and our exchange at first was really just about business, Hutchinson said. Totally innocent, Stodden added. He was in Hollywood and she was in Washington State, hundreds of miles apart, but slowly growing closer. This was literally in the news, you guys. Like, this is straight from a news article. And when you see the sources at the end next week, it's like ABC, E! News, TMZ. Like, it's major outlets. Like, it's not like some weirdo's blog. It's literally major companies reporting on this. He was in Hollywood, she was in Washington State, they're growing closer, blah, blah, blah. Hutchinson claimed that Stodden made the first move toward romance, almost like Courtney was being manipulated by a 51-year-old expert groomer. It's almost like that. And then for Hutchinson, for Doug to be like, it was all her, to then paint her as the sexual one for the public. It's literally so textbook and disgusting. Did I? Stodden said, laughing. Yeah, she was being very flirtatious. Well, come on, he's so handsome. Ugh. Not to her, to him. Hutchinson said he initially thought the very mature-looking woman he had seen on her website was well in her 20s. When he was told that Hutchinson was 16, the world turned upside down. They had a 4-month courtship by email and phone. It was a really beautiful and unique way to get to know someone, because we didn't have the distraction of the physical. We could only get to know each other through our words and our sentiments. Courtney's mother, Krista, monitored their exchanges, not well enough, aware that Hutchinson was decades older than her daughter. When Doug realized he and Courtney had something serious, he called her parents. This is how that phone call should have gone. Because what do you mean? What do you mean when you realized you had something serious? With a child. So you called her parents and then they were on board. Okay. Prison for everyone. I think everyone should go to prison. This is how the phone call actually went. I said, Krista, I don't know if you know this or not, but your daughter and I are falling in love. If you and Courtney's father have any misgivings whatsoever about this, I will respect you and Courtney will respect you and we will step back. I hate this motherfucker. I literally want him serving federal prison time expeditiously. And then May 20th, 2011, they got married in Las Vegas. This is their wedding picture. And in the movie, the mom, when Doug was like, I'm falling in love with your daughter, Krista was like, I know, Doug, I've read all the emails. I can tell that you love her and that she loves you. Without the distraction of the physical, with a minor. With a minor, again, with a minor. Courtney did say that, but I'm sure that was not Courtney's original thought. I'm sure Doug had mentioned that. Every adult in her life failed her. No, literally. 16 years old in this photo. 16 years old. Third wife at 16 is diabolical work. Here is another news article about it at the time. If 35 wasn't a significant number for the lost star Doug Hutchinson, it must be now. That's the age difference, blah, blah, blah. Hutchinson, 51, and aspiring country singer Courtney Alexis Stodden, 16, married last month in Las Vegas, according to a message on his website. Doug Anthony Hutchinson and Courtney Alexis Stodden became husband and wife on Friday, May 20th, 2011 at 12 p.m. in the Little Chapel of Flowers in Las Vegas, Nevada. That place should be shut down. The statement said, Mr. and Mrs. Hutchinson lived together happily and cost in their Hollywood Hills home with their little pups, Everett and Tuna. So they told E! that they know that their age difference will raise some eyebrows. We're aware that our vast age difference is extremely controversial, they said through their spokeswoman, but we're very much in love and want to get the message out there that true love can be ageless. Nevada allows 16-year-olds to marry, but only with parental permission. Stodden's parents told Radar Online that they approve of their daughter's marriage. If you, as a parent, are ever talking to Radar Online about your child, you have failed as a parent. I'm fucking sorry. I don't care what has happened. If you are talking to Radar Online about your child, bro, we are totally supportive of this marriage, Krista Stodden told Radar Online. Doug is a wonderful man and we love him. She added, Courtney was a virgin when she married Doug. She is a good Christian girl. Although Stodden's father is 4 years younger than his new son-in-law, he approves of his daughter's decision. Every father can only pray to have such a man behind their daughter. Courtney is one of the most level-headed girls out there, and I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. Doug is the nicest man I've ever met in my life. This is literally fucking insane. Your parents said this to Radar Online, not even People Magazine. Not even People Magazine. If my parents ever say horrible things about me to the media, it better be in at least People Magazine or E! News. Radar Online. Disgusting. Something Courtney said later about her father. That's what her father said to Radar Online when it happened. So I'm not going to be too forgiving of Dad, because you did go on the record on fucking Radar Online. But later in life, Courtney said that Krista was the one who gave Doug the chance with her daughter. When the news came out, Courtney's father was reportedly livid. In the interview, Stodden revealed how their mother, Krista, paved the way for their marriage. When my father heard about the situation, he came home one weekend and my mother said, Courtney's in love with someone who's older than you and he's coming to visit. Dad was livid. He was like, I'm calling the cops. This isn't happening. And my mother was monitoring the email exchanges and was in support of it. So she was like, let's just meet him and see what he's like. So it does seem like her dad did have like the bare minimum instinct to try and protect his daughter. But it seemed like with one sign of resistance, he was like, okay. Like, he was like, that's not okay. We need to call the police. And the mom was like, it's cool. And he was like, if she says it's cool. Like, I'm begging him to have a backbone. Like, him having a backbone would be awesome. It's not what happened. Do you think Doug paid them? No, because Doug didn't have much money, turns out. Don't think he paid them. And if he did, it was, like, so low that it's, like, depressing. The whole thing's depressing, but you get what I'm saying. So this is kind of a sidetrack about your boy Doug, but it felt very relevant. I found it on Reddit. It was very old on Reddit. A couple years old. As many of you know, the actor that played Toombs, Doug Hutchinson, married Courtney Stodden when she was 16. What many don't know is that she's not the first girl he groomed. Doug groomed me as a child too. It happened between the ages of 14 to 18. I met Doug through a friend of mine who met him at an X-Files convention back in the 90s. I began writing him because I wanted to become an actress and thought he could help me break into the entertainment business. When I was 15, he came to my high school and watched me perform in a talent show. That night, he assaulted me and my close friend. Despite this, I continued to have contact with him until I turned 18. So literally, textbook groomer. Clearly, he had done it before. Sorry, I got a text from a random number. I got a permanent bracelet and it broke, but they said they're going to fix it. Anyway, sorry, not about me. In 2020, I reached out to Courtney to let her know that she wasn't the only one he groomed. I sent her all kinds of proof so that she would know I was not making it up. I found out shortly after this that Doug was grooming a 15-year-old girl in the UK. So he's doing it again because this came out like I think this post was like 3 or 4 years old. With Courtney's help, we were able to get her away from him. In 2021, I went to the police about what he did to me, only to find out the statute of limitations had run out. Last week, I did an interview with ABC Nightline about my whole situation. Courtney was there also to tell her story. Doug is back at it and maybe grooming another child. We're all doing what we can to stop this. The episode will be airing. They said it was airing March 18th, 2025, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But I know a lot of times those things get cut or edited or what have you. People describing themselves as good Christians raises red flags as someone describing themselves as a patriot. The international grooming, he should not be allowed near school. No, he should not. And I feel like it's because in America, like, his reputation is really fucking not good. This is another article from the time of them getting married. Doug Hutchinson, best known for blah, 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 married Courtney, blah, blah, blah. He is 51. She's 16. Is there something fishy about it? The couple insists that there's not. With Stodden, a former beauty pageant, she was running for Miss Teen Washington last year, trying to position herself as a potential pop star. You might think that there's more to the story than a middle-aged actor marrying a pretty teenager. What do you mean a middle-aged actor marrying a pretty teenager? Why did that just like roll off their tongue? And that's a lot of story itself. However, the newlyweds tell us they're just mad about each other. And this is that same quote about love being ageless. So this is an extended trailer from the movie that I was talking to you guys about. It kind of covers what we've talked to up to them getting married. So this is from the movie. This is not real footage. And you'll see they show like Courtney today talking about it. Again, a little bit longer of a clip, but very, very relevant.
You probably recognize him from The Green Mile or a number of other award-winning TV shows and movies. Please. Let's see what they have to say about you now.
Star girl.
Oh, your purse! Here, you're gonna need your purse. Have fun, you two.
Krista for prison. I feel like love can be ageless if everyone's frontal lobes are developed. No, literally.
My mom has never let me out of the house unsupervised with a boy before.
She knows tonight is special.
Why is that?
My mom has never let me out of the house unsupervised with a boy before. So your mom kept you sheltered from all romantic interaction until it was a 51-year-old man who's a famous actor. Okay. Not to go there, but that does kind of scream human trafficking to me. Like, not to take it there, but like you guys took it there.
Did you want to take those off?
Oh, no, I got it.
Always wants the high heels.
There's something I need to tell you. My career is going really well. But being an actor isn't always...
What is it?
I only have about $50,000 to my name.
Not that it would be okay if he was rich, but like he's not. He's not rich. Again, even if he was rich and her parents were bribed, it would still be despicable. Absolutely. But he's not even rich? Like, oh, come on. Come on.
What do you mean, only? That's more money than I've ever seen in my life. Wait, is it that you need me to sign something to say that I'm not after your money? Because I totally will.
God, I love you. I love you. No, I don't need you.
There's
to
no
sign
upside.
anything. Courtney, you're my star girl. You're my angel. Nothing
This
like
is a
this
lot
has
more
ever
pathetic.
happened to me before.
Except the other times
Our
it
love
did.
story's coming true. Will you marry me?
$50,000 to his name, by the way. And every girl his age knows he's a loser. Get a job, stay away from her. Please put me out. This is her getting ready for her wedding. This is so Lana Del Rey core derogatory. $50,000 is a lot of money for a normal person. It's not a lot of money to have to your name as a 51-year-old man who's been in many, like, very famous movies. $50,000. First time my mom let me be unsupervised with a boy and it's a marriage proposal scene. I'm not funding his retirement. Is mom doing this for the fun of it? Like, what the fuck? It's for the fame and attention.
Wedding day. Do not step on.
Okay, I'm gonna run it back a few seconds because this is important. And this is like Courtney, modern day Courtney, talking to themselves or to the audience.
I'm gonna win the pageant. Here's what I remember most about my wedding day. Do not step on the carpet. It was against the law for me to step even one toe on the carpet, the gambling area of the hotel, before the age of 21. I couldn't touch a slot machine. I couldn't order a Mai Tai. But at 16 years old, it was totally okay for me to get married. I just needed the consent of a parent.
You're worried about money but taking a dependent?
The whole day, I was numb, like I was a passenger on a train that was going way too fast.
Pleasers at a wedding as a 16-year-old is so symbolic. English teachers are salivating just thinking about it.
And there was nothing I could do about it.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
And like the short wedding dress with the garter. Not that any wedding dress is appropriate for a 16-year-old, but definitely shouldn't be that one. And that's like not far off from reality. Y'all saw the picture. Married at noon in Vegas. So mom signed, but it appears both were there. This is horrifying. Sorry in advance.
I was ashamed of my 16-year-old body. I looked like a child because I was.
And this is Courtney's
I looked
voice.
nothing like the women I idolized. And now, on our wedding night, there was no way of hiding it.
I think the music is supposed to be like the wedding song, but like it keeps getting like stopped to represent like how she feels. Like it's a wedding, it's happy, but like what the fuck? I think it was like supposed to be bad on purpose.
That's my star girl.
He literally looks like he needs
Really
to be
beautiful.
shot.
I didn't know you could play like that.
Why do you have that
There's a lot
fuck
you don't
ass
know
hat
about me.
on? I hate this.
You ready?
Ugh. Don't worry, it's not graphic. The video's almost over. See? So disgusting. He looks geriatric. He looks like he's inches away from death. So here's some photos of the newlyweds around this time. These photos are, when did they get married again? What date was that? 2011. So most of these photos are from 2012, 2013. And this movie is called I Was a Child Bride, the Courtney Stodden story. It's phenomenal. Highly recommend. The way that was playing like a horror movie. That's how they do the movie. Like they do like you could tell that it's Courtney's voice. Like not just because you hear it, they show her. They were a producer on it. So here's some photos of the newlyweds around this time. Very much like same thing with the pleasers, the heels, the short, kind of like a caricature look, like the Playboy bunny, the Jessica Rabbit, that caricature emoji type look of like sexy is very much how Courtney's being presented to the world. Here's some more photos. Here's them on some local television. They have their dogs that they are very into. The blonde, this is not her natural hair color. No shade on that, just the truth. He looks horrible. Look at his eyes. For context, the girl playing Courtney is 23. She's so young, but Courtney was 8 years younger. I was wondering that. I was wondering how old that actress was because she does look relatively young, but some people just have like a young face. Here's some more pictures of them. Here's the wedding pictures again. So like that movie was literally not an exaggeration at all when it comes to the wedding dress. Courtney is 16 years old in this photo. Like, who's that guy? Who's the minister? The pastor, the officiant, I guess an officiant because it's not at a church, it's at a Vegas thing. And then, this is just a lot. Me realizing I'm the same age as Courtney and watch The Green Mile at the same time and just imagining being in her shoes. Oh God, I'm nauseous. No, literally it's disgusting and I'm stressed. So, this is a rough watch, but here is some news stuff from this time.
It is time now
Pamela
for that
Anderson.
marriage story that has so many of us mystified, skeptical, and from reading your comments online, a little bit upset too. 51-year-old actor Doug Hutchison meets 16-year-old Courtney Stodden. They get married. Lara sat down with the newlyweds, and Lara, this couple really has to deal with the ick factor.
The ick factor?
Well, and that's why they wanted to come
time.
on GMA, George, and tell their side of the story. As you know, it takes a lot to raise eyebrows in Hollywood, and older men marrying younger women, not that uncommon. But what has people so up in arms about this story? We're talking about a 16-year-old girl and a man not just old enough to be her father, he actually is older than her father. I sat down with them, and they defended their relationship.
Not since 22-year-old Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin has a May-December romance been quite this scandalous.
I love you.
When 51-year-old actor Doug Hutchison married 16-year-old Courtney Stodden in May, their 35-year age difference set the internet ablaze. But is it real love or some twisted publicity stunt? He's most famous for playing the abusive prison guard in the Oscar-nominated
I'm tired of fucking talking about The Green Mile. I'm tired of it. He was in one movie once. Here's the music video.
She is an aspiring actress and pop singer, and believe it or not, she really is 16. We verified her birth certificate. They met online when Courtney signed up for Doug's acting workshop. At first, Doug says he had no idea she was just a teenager.
So when you found out, how did you feel?
Well, you can imagine, my world turned upside down.
They had begun a 4-month courtship over the internet.
He looks horrifying.
And say
I
they
hate
fell
him
in
so
love
much.
without ever meeting each other in person.
Having never met her. And I'm telling you, it was a really beautiful and unique way to get to know someone.
Oh, no, he said
because
that.
we didn't have the distraction of the physical.
All the while, Courtney's mom, Krista, had been monitoring their exchanges and says she was fully aware that Doug was so much older than her daughter.
And I said, if you and Alex have any misgivings whatsoever about this, if you are uncomfortable with it,
He was
I will
also a
respect
minor
you,
role in The
and
Green
Courtney
Mile.
will respect
Minor,
you,
just how he
and we
likes
will
it.
Step back.
Courtney's parents say, despite her provocative appearance, she is a
Like,
deeply Christian.
that is a professional photo of her as a teenager, naked, wearing an American flag. She's never had a job. She did not pay that photographer. Who the fuck paid that photographer? Like, clearly her parents are not protecting her.
Christian girl, so they put their faith in her choice to be with a man more than 3 times her age. If you're wondering how this can all be legal, the reason is there was parental consent, no sexual email exchanges, and no physical contact. That meant Hutchison wasn't breaking any statutory laws.
I mean, there is a joke. 16 will get you 20.
16 will get you 20 if you are doing something illegally. It was Krista who said, you know, you guys can get married if you want. There are ways to do that. There's certain states
that allow it.
In fact, 39 states allow 16-year-olds to marry as long as they have documented parental consent
39
and a
out
birth
of 50.
certificate.
What were you thinking there, Doug?
I was just thinking how much I love you.
4 years younger than his soon-to-be
See, her dad walked her down the aisle.
Courtney's father walked his daughter down the aisle at a Las Vegas chapel.
You look into each other's eyes and you speak those vows, your world changes.
Now legally married, they were free to consummate their relationship.
I was
Was
a
a
virgin
virgin?
when I married
Yeah.
him.
She was saving
I
herself.
knew that if
for
I
the
kept
Lord.
that, I would really be blessed with a beautiful gift, and God did. He blessed me with my soulmate.
But at 16, do you really know?
I do. I'm very mature for my age. I'm an old soul. And
If
Doug
I had
can
a
back me
dollar
up on this.
for every time
He felt
a
like
gross
me.
man said an old soul.
Do you think marrying Doug will help your career?
If it does, you know, that's just another beautiful blessing that God hands to me. But if I'm just with him for the rest of my life and supporting him, That would make me happy too.
In my opinion, the parents manufactured her career and sexuality as a child. The media to blame her speaks to our pedophilic culture. I agree.
Online surrounding your relationship, that you look much older than you are.
Oh, good.
People online say you're a pervert. What do you say to that?
I'm a pervert. Courtney's parents are
one of those things is true.
World, pimps.
These videos are hard to watch. But again, like, that's why I wanted to watch them. Because I feel like society can hopefully learn from this. They probably won't, but at least you and I can. That, like, this is what it looks like when someone is being groomed. It doesn't look like the stereotype people have in their head. This is what it looks like.
Come to their opinions. That's what the world is about. If they need to feel this way, that's theirs to hold, not ours.
And Courtney wants to set the record straight. She insists allegations that she's had plastic surgery are false.
Courtney's plastic surgeon was God.
But Doug and Courtney will never be able to convince many people that their relationship is 100% natural. Courtney's parents have received death threats. Doug's agent and manager have dropped him.
Good.
Even his own mother wants nothing to do with them.
So Doug's agent, manager, and mother stopped speaking to him. If I was Doug's mother, I would have hired a hitman to take him out and kidnap him and take him to one of those wilderness camps. Not for teenagers. He doesn't need to be around them. One that was just for him.
She held me in her arms.
She's not on drugs, actually. We'll talk about that.
And we looked at each other afterwards and we said, we knew this was going to happen. We knew we were going to have to weather the repercussions of our decision and our union. And this is just the beginning. And it brought us closer together.
They say it's real, and I know a lot of you have asked, is Courtney...
It's always Doug and Courtney, when really Doug should be on trial.
The way she looks, that she dropped out and has since been homeschooled through an online Christian academy. She says right now she has no plans to attend college, but, and this may come as no surprise, she and Doug do have plans for a reality show. They tell me they're being courted by producers who, quote, see the goldmine potential in their relationship, which George, of course, leads to more speculation as to whether or not this marriage is real or all for publicity.
No question about that. Lara, I wish you could be here to see the crowd watching your interview. It is unbelievable. No, you hear it? Everybody was gripped.
Everybody was gripped by this crime that we put on ABC News. These are the comments from that video. That tells you how people viewed this at the time. Biological age, Courtney looks 29. She looks like she's on drugs. She's 16, looks 32, acts 8. I think the mom was looking for a financial handout. The way she looks at him, the way she walks, she looks like she's in her 30s. She looks drugged out. That's the oldest 16-year-old I've ever seen. The only worst thing about this story is she looks older than he does. Like, literally ripping her apart. She was getting ripped apart in the media. The vast majority of these are not about Doug. And I literally, this is not me picking and choosing. These are the top 10 comments on this video, or maybe that's 9. Yeah. These are the top comments on that video. And you can see most of them are years old. So here's some stuff from the movie. Courtney said they tried to be a June Cleaver type of wife, look sexy all the time, clean all the time, keep the house perfect, cook, super take care of Doug. They said that his promises about her career quickly disappeared. Like, Doug was not trying to get Courtney interviews or castings or networking or anything like that. Apparently, he became a lot more controlling, and he wanted to do interviews with the two of them on, like, daytime talk shows all of the time because they needed money. Because again, he only had $50,000 to his name. They said that there was constant paparazzi. They kind of alluded to thinking that Doug was the one telling the paparazzi, show up here, which paparazzi will work with you and give you money from their cut if you work with them. It's a very much a business. And Courtney said, like, leaving the house, paparazzi, going to an event, paparazzi, go to the gym, go to the store, take the dog for a walk, anything, paparazzi, constant. So you've really never been an adult on your own. You go from your parents' house to this fucking weirdo's house. He's super controlling. You're 16. You're cooking and cleaning and making fucking protein shakes all the time. And if you go anywhere, the paparazzi takes pictures of you. And in the movie, they made a big deal of like the blood on the sheets the next day. And Courtney said that they remember being so relieved and so happy because at church, Courtney learned that like that's the sign of virginity and that makes you worthy. If you have like blood on the sheets on your wedding night, that means like you get a gold star from God and you did it right. Which I think like, obviously, there's tons of things at play in Courtney's story, and I think one of the less obvious things, but I think one of the most important things is religion, and how religion plays a part in this, and how a very, very common factor in child marriage, exploitation of young girls, sexualizing of young girls is religion. And not just one religion, we see it in tons of different faiths. And I think that people don't really talk about or think about religion. Like when people say Courtney Stodden, Doug Hutchinson, it doesn't ring as a religious story. It rings as like a trashy pop culture story. But this is a very deeply religious story, in my opinion. Doug got dropped from like fucking everything. Manager dropped him, agent dropped him, his mom stopped talking to him, he lost a bunch of jobs. Like he was supposed to, what's it called? Like do a casting, do a little tryout for things, and they were like, no, get out. He was already not in a great financial position, and Courtney was getting so much negative attention in the media that Doug started pushing her closer and closer to fame and was like, we need to go on every opportunity, take every talk show, go to every event. If the paparazzi's there, we're there. We need to be at the club every single night. So they're like partying a ton, drinking a ton, being on TV a ton. And again, like Courtney is 17 years old. Like her brain cannot handle. And this literally screams grooming. The way that people talk about Courtney is disgusting in this video. Again, like a lot of these are hard watches, but I think they're important to watch. And I know you're seeing like we're on slide 47. We're going to do like 60-ish tonight, and then we'll do like 60-ish next week.
Remember back in May when lost actor Doug Hutchison, who's 51, married 16-year-old Courtney Stodden in Vegas? With her parents.
He must have been unbearable behind closed doors. Well, there's a couple scenes in the movie where like very shortly after the wedding, he starts being like snippier and meaner. One really powerful one that Courtney explains is like Doug was saying something and she like says something, but not in like a rude way, just in like a conversation way. And he like stops and he's like, never interrupt me again. And it was like a couple weeks after they got married and she was like, whoa. And then it just really escalated from there.
The couple recently talked to E! Online about their sex life. Let's watch it.
Courtney was a Christian and saving herself for marriage.
The way that Courtney is still a minor and national television is talking about the sex life of a minor on major networks in a derogatory way. At the end of the day, you all are adults talking about the sex life of a minor. You're making money off of it and you're putting it on national television, acting like it's something to comment on. Like sex life, abuse, literal abuse.
And, you know, I gotta say, if there's only one caveat to the ocean between our age difference, I wished I was a virgin when we met. And because I think it's
fine that he wasn't. He's good. Whatever. It's a tiger.
Oh God, you're so bad.
You're so bad. Here to discuss this and other pop culture stories in the news, I'm Melissa Jones.
The way they're all laughing.
ABC Family's Melissa and Joey, Rob Shooter, AOL's popular columnist, and Judy Gold, comedian and star of The Judy Show, My Life as
Why
a
do I
Sitcom.
never get invited to any of these
Rob,
shows? Because I can tell you, I'd have a lot to say. Do you think she was a virgin on her wedding night? You mean when a minor was literally married off by her parents into a relationship with a pedophile? Is that the question you're asking? The one who had been homeschooled and never really left the house? Yeah. That's what you want to talk about?
She says she is. You've got to believe her. I think she might have been. She says that she is.
Well, she's only 16, so she can't be far off from a virgin, right? I mean,
okay,
Then my next question is,
She is
do you
not
believe
16.
she's 16?
There's no way
I don't know,
she's
she looks like a
16.
playmate to me. I had no idea that's what she looked like. So therefore, it makes sense. Hugh Hefner, playmate. I don't know. It just.
What do they talk about?
We think
what
they're
is she
doing
like
this
at
for
night? Is
publicity,
she like,
so we're
"I'm
gonna
sorry,
give them
I have a math
publicity."
test and you have your prostate exam tomorrow. And you're like, what do they talk about?
Now, what about that he's a tiger in bed?
That's gross.
You know,
don't
tigers
need to know
sleep
about
22 hours a day. I'm just saying.
apparently he is
And
a
lions,
tiger,
too.
yeah.
They sleep all day
Well, there
long.
you go. Then that's the reference.
I know, Melissa Joan Hart, I hate to see
They're doing
it.
these type of interviews. They don't have to do interviews like this. They're clearly loving us talking about him, and I don't think they're going to shut up.
Well, I want to
anytime
know
soon.
who introduced them. Like, I feel like because of his age, would they just add a mixer and they hung, you know, I feel like her mom, I mean, it must have been her
I
mom.
heard she volunteers at a nursing home, and he was.
This being a big joke to the news is horrifying. Imagine the damage of her seeing this. Like, imagine. Is Melissa Joan Hart MAGA?
I didn't even know.
They're getting everyone.
In the game. I think a lot of people mistake attention for career progression. So I think somebody that sort of disappeared from the public eye for a long time is back in the public eye.
So this relationship has put him back.
In the
So
public
the
eye.
publicity of it has worked for
Well, he
him.
hasn't got a job yet, but we are talking about
Now
him.
she's
probably
an
never
aspiring
will.
singer. She's represented by Doug's management company, his management company. Do you
So she's a singer, and she is represented by Doug's management company.
she can sing? Have you heard her sing?
I've not heard of it.
That's not on a boat, though. She looks pretty hot in the video there. I don't know.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not 16. Okay.
She might be.
She's 16. I'm 5'2". Okay.
Listen, she's as young looking as those kids on Toddlers and Tiaras.
Let's laugh at those exploited children too. Ha 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 ha. And that's like not even the worst one I saw. That one was like relatively middle of the road, like not so overly cruel, where it was like specific. They were just being generally fucking horrific. But like I say that to know that there were worse ones out there. This is horrible. This is horrible. This one is a rough one. Ha ha ha, why is no one concerned for the kid? Like you said, she isn't a perfect victim, so they don't count. Like, they're like, oh, Courtney, we know you're being abused by this grown-ass man, but we don't like your shoes. You have kind of horror shoes, so we're all just going to co-sign and laugh at this, and laugh at you, while you're being abused publicly and behind closed doors. Why are you people not taking the very, very easy target that is Doug? Bro, put me in the room with Doug for 10 minutes. Like...
Neat. All right, Randy, time for the ridiculous. And tonight we're adding those heartless folks who are criticizing the love between this actor and his new bride. I'm talking about a guy named Doug Hutchison. Apparently he was in the movie The Green Mile and had some small roles on Lost and The X-Files. Now, I'm not familiar with his work really at all, but here's what I do know. He's 51 years old, and a few weeks ago in Las Vegas, he married a 16-year-old girl. Now, a lot of people are making a bunch of noise about how the girl, Courtney Stodden, is a minor, and how there's a 35-year age difference between them. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see what the big deal
Anderson
is.
Cooper.
The wedding was on May 20th, according to my calendar. That was a Friday. So she probably only had to miss one day of high school. And what was she going to miss in 11th grade anyway? Algebra? Whoever uses that. But it did get me thinking, who is this young lady who found true love with a character actor in his early 50s? Luckily, like a lot of 16-year-olds, she has a YouTube channel where she posts videos. Probably talks about her homework and getting her driver's license and Justin Bieber and stuff. Let's take a look.
Literally, this is horrifying.
I'm a walking, don't be dropping. You gotta be sly when I walk by. It's not my fault you can't control your guy.
And again, like, maybe I'm biased because I work with teenagers. To me, this looks like a 16-year-old who's trying to look older. Like, if you really look at, like, Courtney's face, like, you could see it a lot in the jaw and in, like, the, like, mouth, like, the kind of, like, youngish, babyish face. Like, it very much reads to me as 16-year-old trying to look like they're in their 20s.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm sure there's more to her than just that.
Don't put it on me, girl. Don't put it on me, girl, no. Don't put it on me, girl. Don't.
Well, now, a lot of people are suggesting that someone should have told Courtney, don't marry that guy. He's too old for you. You have your driver's test coming up. Someone, like her parents maybe. But guess what, romance haters? Her parents gave their permission. They're not those uptight parents who don't let their teenage daughter stay out past 11 or make music videos on boats or marry someone 3 times her age. They're cool parents. Her mom told Radar Online they're, quote, totally supportive of this marriage. And her dad said his new son-in-law, who's 4 years older than he is, quote, the nicest man I've ever met in my life. So cool. But they also have instilled morals in their daughter. Here's another one of her YouTube videos.
I have never done pornography. I never will. About myself, I am a Christian girl. I hold my faith very tightly.
Believe me, you learn how to hold things very tightly when you go to the beach wearing nothing but the American flag.
Again,
that at age
who
16,
paid for those
she makes
photos?
it a point of pride that she's never done pornography. That's like basically saying, I'm about to do pornography. Or, I will do pornography. But I haven't done it yet. I wonder if her parents booked her for that photo shoot. They are so cool.
I'm a virgin, and I plan to stay that way until I am married.
Okay, a little bit of an overshare, but I'll say this about Courtney. She likes to keep it real.
My breasts are real. Everything about me is real. My hair is real. My teeth are real. My eyelashes are real.
This is a lot of the YouTube stuff that's been taken down on her page now.
My breasts are totally real. Believe it or not.
They're like literally slut shaming a child, not
Did
even
she mention
mentioning
that her breasts are real? I think she mentioned twice. You know what else is real? Their love is real. Courtney, I wish you nothing but the best in your singing career and your marriage, but if it doesn't work out, someone's recently back on the market. And to all you haters, remember, age is only a number. 51, just a number. 16, just a much, much, much smaller number. Ain't love grand. So to all you doubters and haters, don't be too hard on these lovebirds, at least not until the divorce or the inevitable reality show about the divorce comes out. Until then, all of you are on The Ridiculous.
So, yeah, absolutely horrible. After being in the marriage for a while, Courtney said that they started using pills and alcohol to cope. The movie showed pills, but publicly they've just talked about alcohol. So the pills part, I'm not sure if that was like dramatized for the movie or if that was 100% true to their experience. This video is formatted like super fucked up, but because you guys said the same thing that a lot of people back then said, is she looked like she's on drugs in that first video where they're sitting on the couch.
The interview, you look a little out of it.
You know what's funny? I was sober.
Really?
And I was hoping you were going to ask this question because I've always wanted to be asked this for like over 10 years.
Wow.
I was completely sober. But after that interview, I wasn't sober anymore.
Overnight, Doug and Courtney became a media sensation.
She was just fascinating to people. People wanted to know why this beautiful young girl was allowed to get married and then why she married this old man.
The newlyweds would become the butt of tabloid fodder, like on CNN's The Ridiculous.
So she probably only had to miss one day.
Back in the day. So they saw this as that was big money back in the day. So they saw this as a cash cow moment.
Media scrutiny was very unforgiving.
So yeah, that's Courtney basically in a recent interview saying that. In that interview, she actually was sober, but after this, she did start using alcohol to cope a lot. They went on the show Couples Therapy. I couldn't find clips of them on Couples Therapy, but I did find some old articles about it. This was in 2012. They took their marriage public. They've been a cultural lightning rod. They've never shied away to put their relationship on display. Stodden spoke with Entertainment Weekly about her reasons for going on the show, the instant rivalry with the other women, and her husband's fearless effervescence, blah, 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 whatever. I have narcolepsy, and that's what I look like when I'm not doing well, so I really feel for her. What that kind of read to me is like incredible anxiety. Like when I'm incredibly anxious, sometimes I act really not myself and odd. So like that's what that read to me is more just her like, and like what it seems like Courtney's doing from my perspective is like fulfilling a role. Like her life is becoming something that like their brain cannot cope with and cannot handle. So Courtney was like, let me just turn into this role and be acting as this like sexy person that everyone's groomed me to be and just act in that role. And in a way, like there would be in some way self-preservation of like being this extreme caricature, like Jessica Rabbit, Playboy sex archetype that like is a shield in a way to like your like true inner child, like not inner child, just child, but like inner personality and like genuine self, to be projecting this like other image, I think to me kind of seems like a coping mechanism, but again, not my brain. So this is another article from the time. Since the moment Doug Hutchinson and Courtney Stodden took their marriage public, they've been a cultural lightning rod. Oh, this is that Entertainment Weekly article. Doug and I decided to go on couples therapy because he and I, like many married couples, had some issues we wanted to deal with. Doug and I have kind of a typical marriage. We do deal with age different issues such as communication and things like that. So we checked into couples therapy hoping they could help us with that. Did you want to get a response from people going on the show? It seems like whatever I do, I get a response from people. I'm fun and provocative, but I'm not too crazy either. I'm a serious person. I'm a human being. So I kind of wanted to get that across. I'm not just this provocative image. I'm also a person. Of all of the couples on the show, it seems like you two were under the most pressure from others' preconceived notions. What's that like? When I went into therapy, there was a lot of drama. We were the last couple to enter the home. So I guess on couples therapy, they all like live together and do therapy all day, every day, which seems really unhealthy. We kind of turned the house upside down. There were misconceptions and people's perceptions of me were twisted. You can really see that in the promo when Nick Ritchie calls you trash. What happened there? Nick, as well as many of the cast members, was trying to feud with me the entire time. Almost every day it ended up being about me, my image, what I exude. Dr. Jen Bierman even told me I was becoming too much of a distraction for her therapy process because they were focusing on me and not their own marriages. And it wasn't just Nick. He was the first to kind of step out and throw the first punch because his wife was getting a little intimidated, a little jealous because I was getting all the attention from men when I walked in there. Which again seems like a coping mechanism that Courtney was trained to do from a very young age. I saw some clips from couples therapy and there was a blowout between Courtney. Don't spoil it. We're going to see. This is her first round on couples therapy. Courtney's been on couples therapy twice. Spoiler in the chat. Not that it's like an exciting thing, but still, we'll get there. We're not there yet. We'll get there. The thing that Shane told my husband over the course of the season was that the women were getting angry with me because I was flirting with their husbands. It's funny because I think if I walked up to their husband and said, "Hi, how's your day going?" the women thought I was flirting with them. I think that's why I didn't get the opportunity to bond very well with the women of the house nor their husbands. There was kind of a vicious energy going that got in the way. So basically, they went on couples therapy. They got into it. It was organic how we were drawn to each other. He has fearless effervescence. We were kind of rebels. We both think out of the box. Like, not great. Apparently, they almost got fired for her outfits. She, like, refused to change the way she dresses, and they almost got kicked off the show for it. So this is them doing, like, the press tour of being on couples therapy. This host does kind of push. Out of everything I saw, this male host pushes harder than anybody I saw around this time on TV. The way my heart dropped realizing it's a show and not a real therapy session where someone would genuinely help her. And again, like, I'm pretty sure Courtney's still a minor at this point, if not freshly 18. Freshly 18. And Courtney went back on the show a few years later with her mom, which that one we watch a fair amount of clips of. I believe that's what we're going to do next week. I don't think it's in
Doug Hutchinson and Courtney Stodden had headlines last year for their unconventional marriage.
So yeah, she's 17.
He was 51 years old and she was just 16 when they tied the knot.
All right, so let me ask you guys right off the bat. The relationship is a sexual relationship, of course, because you're married, right?
Yes.
Right. When did that begin? Did that begin in the dating process, or did you wait till you were married?
On our honeymoon.
After marriage.
After marriage. All right, Dr. Jen Berman is with us. She's, but let's get to you right away.
Dr. Jen Berman should have her license fucking revoked. I think if you provide couples therapy to a minor, you need to have your license revoked unless the couples therapy, after the first 5 minutes, you turn it into like a anti-human trafficking campaign to get her away. Like, how?
Because sometimes we were here with Linda Hogan and the much younger guy that she was dating. Is this relationship okay?
You ask a very complicated question. And
Not
I
really.
think that, and we have spoken very openly about this. Well, I don't agree with the timing of their marriage. This is not a fake relationship. And after spending 3 intensive weeks with them, I think the biggest myth about their relationship is that it's a publicity scam. And it is not.
I don't think that's the myth.
And it's not the timing, it's the age difference.
it is that they married when she's 16. That's where I have an issue with it. But as a therapist, a lot of the time I have to do work with people who have different morals, different values, have different religions, all that sort of stuff. And this is a couple who is legally married. It is a legitimate marriage, and they came to me with conflicts in their marriage that needed to be worked on.
Doug, why get permission when she's
fake.
16 years old from her parents and just not wait 2 years till she's 18?
Great question.
Well, a couple reasons. One is, life is unpredictable and you need to live every day to the fullest. Courtney and I fell in love.
I have to live every day to the fullest by marrying a child.
And we met each other. We're soulmates. And so we needed to dive.
But isn't it worth waiting 2 years? You can be with, be around each other, but wait 2 years for...
Well, what's the point? I mean, she's 18 now.
What's the
what
point?
would be the point to have waited until she was 18?
Well, there's the psychological development, the emotional development in people, the ages 51 and 16 are giantly different.
Our inspirations are people like John and Bo Derek. She was 15 and he was in his 40s. They had a 22-year marriage. She held his hand while he was on his deathbed. Celine Dion and Renee Angelil. He met her when she was 12. Was her manager. And
he's like, this has happened before. Proceeds to name like the most famous pedophiles.
Look at
way
that.
later. I mean, but it wasn't a relationship at that point.
Well, come on. I mean, it was the beginning of their relationship.
Courtney, is it hard for you? I'm just thinking you're 16 and you're
These
getting
are the predators
your friends
I
are
look
like, let's
up
go to the mall. Like, let's hit up.
The way that he had a list ready. Like, he had to Google that. I want to see his search history. Actually, I probably don't, but I bet that's in there.
How do you stay in touch with anybody your age? And
I'm not the first person to be disgusting.
Well, you're saying that if I'm, wanting to be with a 51-year-old man, I can't still have friends my age? Is that what you're asking?
I just wonder what's the connection with God?
The connection was so organic.
I come from a long line of
when you fall in love with
criminals.
somebody, Billy,
Predators
you're
tend
in
to meet
love.
their victims
and
at
you
young
feel
ages,
that,
yes.
You feel that
Yeah, but
connection.
you're
I had
16
so
and
many.
you're swaying all over the place. I mean, like, I have a 14-year-old daughter who's hormonal and emotional and it changes her feelings about friends every 10 seconds.
That's your
Well,
daughter.
I wasn't.
Courtney's
An old soul?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
an old soul.
If you asked Bo Derek, she would say the same thing. When you're an old soul, you're not going to fall in love with a 14-year-old boy. You meet somebody, you know what you want.
This other
and you're
famously
gonna,
groomed
get
person
that
would say the
because
same.
You are an old soul, and you know what you want. And I knew what I wanted. And I was a Christian girl, and I wanted to save myself until I got married. Some people say that I waited, a whole 16 years. But that meant so much to me that I found the love of my life. I married him at 16. I knew what I wanted. And we're still together. We've been married for a year and a half almost.
Did you have to convince your parents? What did you say to them?
My mother was monitoring
She
all
didn't
the
even know any
conversations.
boys.
We didn't meet, I think it was 6 months. Over the course of 6 months, we were talking online. We were communicating
You
through
met
text
online?
message. Yeah, through a mutual
Doug,
friend.
people are going to call you a pedophile and a pervert for meeting a young girl online.
I love this host.
I didn't meet Courtney.
More than
And they're
anyone.
not far off. I think that's. I mean, you meet a young
Get him!
girl, start chatting with her online. That's really. You're an actor, Green Mile. You've got career here in town. I'm surprised that
You know what?
you would
can
do
throw
that.
down
You just threw your career away, by the way, haven't you? Right?
You know what? I would do it again, over and over.
Not that this would be good, but why couldn't he just date a 20-year-old like all the other fucking weirdos? Like, why couldn't he just be like all the other weirdos and date a girl that's 19, 20, 21? That would also be gross and fucked up. But you get what I'm saying?
Over and over, because I fell in love with the woman I'm supposed to be with for the rest of my life. We live, day by day, Billy. We don't know if tomorrow is going to come. So you have to
That's why I had to marry this minor
And I think
now.
also, Billy, that you bring up a really interesting point
The
that
neck
is
is
very
bright
relevant
red.
to our therapy together, that when these two came in, there's the obvious issue of the age difference that was a therapeutic issue, and also
Like,
whether
you
Doug
know
made
that
or not,
this
but
host of
exactly what
Access
you
Hollywood
described, that
Live
Doug, when he
came and
married
saw the
her,
plan
he
for the
lost
day and was
everything. He
like,
lost
what
his
the
career, He
fuck?
lost everything, and Courtney very much became the center of his life, and that has been very bad for the dynamics of their relationship
All
and
right.
created an enmeshment.
Couples therapy. Wednesday night at 10 o'clock on VH1.
We'll be right back after these messages from your local state.
So that's fucking horrifying. So Doug's whole thing was like, I'll protect you, Stargirl. I got you. All these scary people, but I'm going to protect you. And then Doug was like, here's our packed schedule of exploitation because we need to pay our rent. They also had to move from his house into an apartment sometime around this time, according to the movie. So everything's horrible. I assume that they were getting paid to go to these types of events and talk about this.
All right, how you doing? So you excited to see some fighting pretty
This
soon?
is like a
I love
fight.
fighters.
This is Muay Thai. This is Muay Thai, so it's serious. So you ready
It's
to
a
see
Muay
like blood,
Thai
kicking,
fight.
all that?
Yeah, sexy. How do you do Muay Thai? How do you do it?
I couldn't do it, but it's a very like violent.
Learn.
You wanna learn?
There should be some hot girls doing Muay Thai. Right?
See, like,
There are some girls.
Courtney's
they're-
like a
they're very
caricature
muscular.
of
You gotta
herself.
be able to handle.
Oh, like me.
You could be a ring girl. That would be even better.
Okay, all right.
So, you guys, what's keeping you busy? I know we have the VH1 show, so you guys
The
want to talk
shock
a little bit
value
about
of being
that?
a creep is all
Yeah,
he
we did
has.
couples therapy, and the last episode aired like last night on TV.
Last Wednesday night.
Yeah, they're rerunning it. That was a great experience for us. We have a strong marriage. We're going strong, right? I
Over a
think
year and a
so.
half now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like that? I mean, the VH1 shows are so popular. What was it like? Did you guys feel like you had cameras on you all the time in a cocoon, or was it very lax? Tell me about the experience, being kind of under the microscope.
I loved it. I love cameras.
It was 24/7. It was like Big Brother is watching all the
It
time. So
was,
it's pretty
yeah,
intense.
yeah. You know, it was a little different, but I liked it.
He lets her do all the
What do
talking.
you think you guys learned about the marriage, and did it make it stronger being part of that?
Okay, so you get the point of this. This is probably the last thing that we'll talk about tonight. We'll do like a couple more slides, and then I do have a game for you. I made a halfway point game for you because with Gabby Hanna, I didn't know it was going to be a two-parter. I had more foresight now. So we'll talk about Dr. Drew, we'll yell at him, and then we'll play our little game over this. The laugh is so sad. She just fully embodies the exploitation. I think like what Courtney has learned here is like, all right, the media, Doug, my parents, everyone wants me to be this person. Let me be this person and be good at being this person. Which like, again, just screams like grooming, need of validation, desire for love, desire for approval. We're not going to watch the horrifically gross part of this. Don't worry. We're just going to watch the mostly gross part.
Now, Courtney, what is it precisely that people have
This
claimed
is
you had done?
2011. She was born in 1994. So let's do some quick math here. Yeah, so a minor, 17 years old here.
My breasts, of course, and you know, a lot of work on my face for Botox, nose job, cheek implants.
17. They put her age on the
chin
screen.
implants, everything.
And you've had nothing?
Nothing.
Absolutely
A
nothing.
knife has never touched this body.
Dr. Diaz?
No.
Well, I specialize in making plastic surgery look very natural. So I know all the tricks of how to hide the scars and how to make things look very natural. But if she's had plastic surgery, we're going to find out today.
All right, let's do it.
There's
All right.
Doug. Here's
So
your
what I love to
exploitation
do-
schedule, honey.
Is the,
Oh no.
do it. The first thing I like to do is look at the whole face from the top down to the bottom.
Don't worry,
And
I'm not gonna
I
show
start
you
off with
anything
something simple,
too
like just
horrifying.
asking you to smile.
Okay.
Give me a big smile. And what I'm looking for are any unnatural
Like, very much
contours
looks like a
or
17-year-old.
any unnatural shapes. And I'm also looking at how
This
the
is
skin
so
is
evil.
wrinkling and if there's anything off. So from what I
Wrinkling.
can tell,
17 years old. They also did an ultrasound of her boob to prove that she didn't have implants. Again, this is a minor. This is fully on YouTube. It is still up. It is still on Dr. Drew's channel. Dr. Drew still has a minor being assaulted on camera on his channel. Obviously didn't want to give views to that. Here, the screenshot tells you way more than you need to know. So, to every single producer, photographer, agent, advertiser, booker, cameraman, anybody who made money from this, you will be seeing hell. You will be seeing hell. I don't care if you were the guy that put the fucking snacks in the green room, if you were the driver that took Courtney from point A to point B. If you made money off of this exploitation, you are going to hell. And that one host that was bright red and did call Doug a pedophile on national television, you will be seeing God's Gate, I think, probably. I don't know what else you were up to. But this was fucking crazy. You see why this needed 2 parts, because like this is like the lowest point in my opinion. Yeah, we'll leave off there. Chrissy Teigen said some fucking horrible shit about her too. Let's go ahead and do our trivia game thing about what we talked about. There we go. That's what I wanted. We have some people to retroactively cancel my fellow libs. You will see heaven, I think, probably. I don't like Chrissy Teigen. That's a really valid stance. I'm very neutral on her, but after I heard about this, I became more negative. We'll do sports, because everyone's treating this like a fucking game. All right, so if this is all you came for, I love you so much. Thank you for coming. But at the end of each stream, we do a little game about what we talked about. This is just on the first half. I did not do any like questions post this era of early marriage. I don't like ending in such a negative, horrible place. So what I will say is come back next week, Tuesday. Normally I do this on Tuesdays. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Come back next week, Tuesday. Courtney is in a much better place now. They appear to be very happy and have taken control of their life and the narrative. So this 2-part series will end in a positive place. This is low. And it'll stay low for a while. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. How do you guys feel about the 2-part? I like it because then I get to be more detailed, but if you hate it, I'll stop doing it. This actually made my stomach turn. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Oh, my friend just sent me pictures of French fries, and that looks really good. Do you want to see? Look how good they look. They're loaded fries. I think I need that in my life, actually. I'm coming over. I like the occasional 2 parts. That's how I feel like it's, we never need to draw it into 2 parts, but if it's the vibes, it's the vibes. Diva down right now, but not for long. Unfortunately, for longer than what needed to happen. Well, none of this needed to happen at all. But Diva is not down forever. That's what matters. I'm not going to say not for long, because it was a pretty long time. But not forever. Man, I'm not doing subscriptions. I'm not doing it. Where people like pay $5 to see certain videos. I don't like it. What am I doing that's worth that? Not much. I knew most of this, but my jaw was on the floor still. Just seeing it all together makes it worse. Makes it way worse. I like the 2-parters. This is really insane and gross, but very enlightening. I'd never heard of them before this stream. What an introduction. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit start on our little game moment. If you still want to join, it'll let you join late. It's definitely not too late. Seeing Tanya Harding's shoelace in the game again just brings me so much joy. Yeah, some people like to join with fun names. If you put in your government name, it will come up on here, so maybe leave and come back. I don't know. But yeah, some people do like to put the fun names. So let's get into it. I remember seeing this in real time, but yikes. No, me too, because like, Courtney is a couple years older than me, but I still remember seeing it in the media. Not very clearly, but yeah. I wish I could say I realized how bad it was at the time. I don't really remember it well, but I feel like I'd remember if I'd been as angry as I should have been. That's how I feel too. Where did Courtney grow up? Washington. Oh, what website? Did I not put the link in the chat? Oops, my bad. There you go. What did Courtney struggle with in school? Grew up seeing her in the media and was confused about why people treated her like that. Exactly. What were Courtney's teen career accomplishments? Have fun with your soup. I made soup for dinner too. It was good. I'm about to eat it. What the fuck, Doug, being the top 3 is perfect. How did it... Jesus. How did Courtney's family find Doug? Y'all are quick with it. Oh, trailer parks? I like that idea. I somehow viewed her as an adult. Me too, but it's like, we were young and the media painted her as an adult, so I'm not going to blame us too much for that, because I wasn't an adult, so it's not my fault. How did Courtney's mom ensure her safety? Maybe it's because the real adults were saying she was an adult. Exactly. Tis I, what the fuck, Doug? Where did Doug marry a child? Las Vegas, where they let that happen. But don't walk on the carpet at the casinos. Courtney's parents were very against the marriage and did everything possible to prevent it. False. Y'all are quick. Why did Courtney's parents allow the marriage? I wonder what it was like for people her age to see that on TV. I think some of them are here tonight. For being a judgmental 13-year-old me. Everything except them being directly bribed that we're aware of, and he didn't have that much money, so don't think it was that. Not that that would make it okay, but him being broke really is just a cherry on top. How was Courtney treated by the media? Everything except with compassion and empathy. Because even the people that went after him didn't really say anything kind towards her. Like, at best, it was neutral towards her or ignoring her. What did Doug encourage Courtney to do? Everything except finish her education. Alrighty, nice job. Colleen, Ann, what the fuck, Doug, Skeledol, Callan, Saturn Cat, or Caitlin Callan, Allie, Disgruntled Stan, Diva Down, I'm having a bad time, Sophia Simon, Seth, Maureen, Sam, Nothing is Fine, Whitmore, Piss the Pants, nice, Miss Hill, Tanya Harding, Shoelace, Emily, Leplerp, Anna, Pee Pee Poop Poop, nice, Hannah Mara, Diva Down, Hannah, and Winter did not make it through the game. All right, any memes, anything to add? I put Halloween because this is terrifying. Very, very terrifying. I'll stick around for a few moments, but I have to finish packing. Me hearing of all these adults allowing Courtney to be harmed. No, literally. I usually never get to join these because I work on Tuesday. So proud of myself for getting 4th. Nice. I'm happy you're here. And we have another Monday stream coming up on October 27th, BuzzFeed quitting stories. So for my Monday crowd, welcome. I'll give it a few more seconds. Dun, 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 dun. This really was, I felt like very academic putting this together. And it was very depressing, but I kind of like depressing stuff. The general vibe of this stream. No, literally, that was me making this. And while I was making it, I was watching Seeking Sister Wife, and I was like, everyone's fucked up. Everybody in the world is fucked up, actually. I like being around other people who share my rage against pedophiles and the media exploitation of women and children. I thought I was hallucinating today because I peeped Instagram and saw you were streaming tonight, and so I just convinced myself it was Tuesday, and I almost didn't check Twitch, but then I realized you were streaming on Monday this week. Here I am in the flesh on a Monday. On a Monday. I'm so excited to go on vacation and like be in the sun and go to the beach, even though it hasn't been that cold here. I can't learn too much about the people in Utah. I get so upset. It's upsetting out there. It's very upsetting. All right, team. I think that is where we will call it. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next Tuesday for Courtney Stodden Part 2. Lots more to talk about. It will get better. I promise. I promise it will get better. I love you so much. See you next week. I'll probably be posting less over the next week or so because I will be chilling and vibing. But yeah, see you next